Thank you for joining us for the 2022 Jamaica Teachers Association JTA Presidential Debate, brought to you with the kind support of the Jamaica Publishing House and Tip Friendly Society. I'm Jovan Johnson. This debate will run for 60 minutes. Please note that there are no special judges, and therefore, you, the teachers and members of the JTA, will decide. This debate is coming to you live from the WBC Ben Hawthorne Conference Room at the offices of the Jamaica Teachers Association at 97B Church Street in Kingston. Our contenders: Suzette Baker Tuller, principal of the Fogar Road Infant School in Clarendon; Leighton Johnson, principal of Mushet High School in Trelawney; and O'Keefe Saunders, teacher at the Donald Quarry High School in Kingston. We now pause as we invite the candidates to acknowledge each other. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The rules of the debate have been shared with the candidates. Candidates must always be respectful to each other. The candidates will each be allowed 2 minutes for their opening statements. They've agreed to use the alphabetic approach to determine the order in which each of the opening statements and the questions will flow. However, for the closing statements, the reverse will obtain. Candidates will be allotted 3 minutes to answer each question. For the entire debate, each candidate will be allowed 2 separate 60-second periods to rebut a response of another candidate. The first candidate to indicate to the moderator that he or she wishes to rebut will be the one acknowledged and called on to make their rebuttal. Now, candidates will not lose their turn in the question and answer sequence after mounting a rebuttal, and at the end of the final round, each candidate will get 2 minutes to make a final pitch. We begin this segment with each candidate being allotted 2 minutes to make an opening statement. Now, based on the alphabetic approach, Suzette Baker Tuller, principal of the Fogar Road Infant School in Clarendon, will go first. Mrs. Baker Tuller, your 2 minutes.
Colleagues all, good evening. Suzette Baker Tuller, classroom teacher for 29 years. I have been an active member of the Jamaica Teachers Association for 20 years, working as a president for my parish, DA, president for my DA. I am au fait with the issues that are affecting my colleagues. And I'm saying to you, my colleagues, now is the time for you to vote for one who have been serving in a manner that, with integrity and with commitment. Suzette Baker Tuller.
Thank you, Mrs. Baker Tuller. Now to Mr. Leighton Johnson, principal of the Mushet High School in Trelawney, for your opening 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I greet you well. I am Leighton Johnson, principal at the Mushet High School. I am an astute leader, a humble servant, a fearless advocate, one who intends to return confidence in teachers. There are issues confronting us at this juncture, colleagues. There is the Teaching Council Bill. There is the compensation review. There are issues surrounding guidance counselors still not being able to get laptops. There are deans of disciplines who still have issues with many issues in their schools. Deans of disciplines are still not able to ascertain many of the things that they ought to get. There are those teachers who still have issues with housing. I, Leighton Ray Anthony Johnson, ask that our JTA Credit Union steps to the fore and assist in this juncture. Here we are at another point to select a leader, a leader of the association, Leighton Johnson, is ready. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Johnson. We'll now hear from Mr. O'Keefe Saunders, a teacher at Donald Quarry High School in Kingston. Over to you, Mr. Saunders, for your 2 minutes.
Good evening, colleagues. I am O'Keefe Saunders, classroom teacher at the Donald Quarry High School. I am in this profession from September 1995 until now. Colleagues, it is time now for you to choose one of your own classroom teachers to represent you as president of the Jamaica Teachers Association, because who feels it knows it. Colleagues, remember, I am the man with the plan, and for that plan to carry out, you must vote for Terrian O'Keefe Saunders. Colleagues, it is time now for teachers' life to be better. We are living at the poverty level. Colleagues, as a male, it is very hard to maintain your family. You know what I have to do as my second job? As a teacher, on a Saturday and Friday, I am at Phil's Hardware, where I do jerk chicken, jerk pork, soup, fritters, and all of those things, just to take care of my family. So colleagues, I'm telling you, who feels it knows it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saunders. Now for this segment, questions will be posed individually to each candidate. The candidate will be allotted 3 minutes to answer. An opponent may rebut for no longer than 1 minute. Please be reminded that for the entire debate, each candidate is allowed 2 separate 60-second periods to rebut a response of another candidate. The first candidate to indicate by a raise of hand that he or she wishes to rebut will be the one acknowledged and called on to make the rebuttal. The candidates have been briefed of all the other rules. Again, questions will be posed to the candidates in alphabetical order. Our first question therefore goes to Mrs. Suzette Baker-Toller, principal of Fogar Road Infant School in Clarendon. Mrs. Baker-Toller, how do you plan to go about advocating for the implementation of a 10-to-1 pupil-teacher ratio in early childhood education?
By engaging the powers that be. And that is the Ministry of Education that see to the positions that are allotted in schools. And so the agitation to Jamaica Teachers Association for the ratio of 10-to-1 according to the Early Childhood Commission would be lobbied through the Ministry of Education, because they are the only one that can give us added space in the schools.
Thank you. Mr. Johnson, what inspires your confidence that you will be successful in restoring the reclassification of teachers to 80% of market?
Thank you. The last time teachers got any real raise was in 2008. 14 years later, inflation plus the high cost of living have eroded the spending power of all teachers. Teachers are militant at this time. And of course, with the compensation review that is currently ongoing, the government has to, in every way, shape, and form, get teachers back to that position. We have been suffering for too long. Since November, gas prices have increased over $50. 10% has been the exponential increase in food prices in comparison to the corresponding period of last year. Teachers are willing to take that no-nonsense approach in agitating the government to get us back to that point. Of course, teachers are suffering. Teachers have to do odd jobs, and in many instances, they have to monetize their gifts and their talents. They have to do things to earn additional funds just to take care of their families. It is my firm view and belief that even if you have quote unquote, that side hustle ought to be placed in investment. That side hustle ought to be used for your vacation. What we find in our country now is that even with the side jobs, teachers are still suffering. Therefore, it is urgent and necessary for the government, the Ministry of Finance, to heed the call. Teachers must be brought back to at least 80% of market. We will accept nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Saunders, can you detail your proposal to make access to housing or the purchasing of homes easier for teachers?
Okay. Well, the NHT, I will lobby with the NHT for teachers to get 100% financing, whether it is the internal scheme or the open market or the open market. Teachers' salary is on the ground. We cannot afford the 10% to find 10% of the cost. Sometimes 2 million, 2.5 million, 3.5 million. Teachers don't have those money. So I will lobby with the government to give the teachers 100% financing, open market or within the internal scheme of the NHT because of our low income. So since as what we ask for, you can't give it to us as salary. Give us some fringe benefit for our life to be more comfortable. Because when we retire from this profession and don't own a home, in the Jamaica Papua term, dog, nyam, we suffer. Because some of our own colleagues downtown in front of the court, Supreme Court, are homeless. So there are a lot of lands all over Jamaica that government have, that they can cut up some of those lands and give it to teachers in service lot. I will also ask the government to reduce the interest and increase the benefit for teachers because we need houses badly.
Mrs. Starwood, yes, you may go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Saunders' idea is very good. A better idea also would be that with over 5,000 teachers, in order to ensure that more teachers are allotted houses, is for us JTA to lobby for a percentage of housing schemes that are being built to be earmarked specifically for teachers. For example, at 20% and the other 80% open market, teachers still can access that. So 20% earmark, and also the warehouse, the low income plan that the government has for other sectors to access houses, that too. So along with their plan, this 20% earmark specifically for teachers and to allow them to get the access with low income would also boost what you have said.
Thank you, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh, using one of her rebuttals for this debate. We're sticking with you, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh. In the circumstances of a teacher shortage, how realistic is your proposal for a 10-to-1 pupil-teacher ratio?
No, but that is the law as it relates to the Early Childhood Commission. And maybe that is the reason why they have a failing grade. Because the truth is there must be a 10-to-1 to facilitate the proper foundation laying for our children. The issues that we're having in the primary school and the high school is because of the overcrowdedness in the early childhood sector. I am a principal at a infant school, and since I've been there, I've been lobbying trying to get extra teachers. My class is over 10 students. That is not right with a trained teacher. We need caregivers in there so that the engagement that must be had for the baby so that the right foundation can be put is needed. It is the law, and we are law-abiding citizens. And as JTA, we will ensure that the government put in place its law.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh. Mr. Johnson, what sort of urgency do you attach to your proposal for the government to implement a 2-week paternity leave system?
It is urgent at this point. Our country has seen serious moral deficit and we are experiencing a moral decay. And the family is, in many ways, this decay can be attributed to the breakdown in families. It is my view that if our fathers or teachers who are fathers get it right from the start in the homes, if they are able to support the mothers of their children, if they are able to be there in the homes, then this is a step in the right direction. As a country, we are lagging behind where this is concerned. This is being patterned in several other jurisdictions. And there are some private sector entities within Jamaica who are also emulating these practices. Therefore, I believe that as a country, realizing the challenges that we are facing with how children are being raised, with the moral decay in standards of morals and ethics, if fathers are more robust and vigilant and visible in the homes, then this can stem some of the issues. Studies have shown that the father's presence in the home is essential, is needed. Studies have shown too that girls, when they relate to their father, when there's a father figure in the home, they behave more cultured. Studies have shown too that once our males or boys have male strong role models in their homes, then the society is going to be beneficial of people who are upstanding in morals. So I believe this is a trend that we ought to be moving in.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. We're back with you, Mr. Saunders. What's your position on the licensing of teachers?
My position on the licensing of teachers, I don't have a problem for teachers to be licensed, but with this criminal charge of $500,000, it is a no-no for me. For example, you have some teachers, some caregivers out there who parents leave their kids with, and they're not trained or licensed. And for you to put criminal charge on those people, it is unfair. And we have bigger problem in Jamaica, this crime that is getting out of hand. Why you don't go and fight crime instead of to criminalize to fine $500,000 for teachers if they don't license? That is ridiculous. So I don't have any problem to be licensed, but this criminal charge on teachers is ridiculous. Government need to go and fight crime and leave teachers alone, because we are the greatest nation builders of this country. No Bob Marley, no Usain Bolt. Greater than teachers. We build this country. We produce everyone in this country.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saunders.
So,
Yes, Mr. Johnson, you may use one of your rebuttals now.
indeed, the criminalization of teachers through the JTC bill in its current form is an issue. The fact is, colleagues, there are those teachers who, in some way, shape, or form, will find themselves practicing outside of a license. As an educational administrator, as a school leader, there are shortages of particular categories of teachers in respective subject disciplines. We have had, in many instances, to recruit individuals who are outside of the profession, those who don't necessarily possess the pedagogical skills. However, they are able to hold a class. We have had to utilize the services of mechanics for our automotive repair classes. We've had to utilize the services of cosmetologists, because these skilled areas are lacking in the teaching profession. Therefore, it is urgent and necessary for the government.
Thank you so
to
much,
rethink this
Mr.
position.
Johnson. We go to you, Mrs. Baker Tulloh. How do you propose to improve teacher accountability?
Well, teacher accountability, my proposal as it relates to that has to do with their systematic evaluation to find out how they are performing, and also put in place the things that they would need in order for them to be the best that they can be. So accountability is something that we must not shy away from, because it also shows that as professionals we are not afraid to be held at what we are supposed to be presenting. And as a school principal, in holding my staff accountable, I'm also holding myself accountable as the one who must answer to the Ministry of Education that we are providing the holistic tools that are needed in order for children to perform.
Thank you very much. Mr. Saunders, you may now use one of your 2 rebuttals for this debate.
Yes, and teacher to be accountable. There are too much administrative work on teachers. The government need to employ clerical workers because teachers have to be writing class lists. Teachers have to be doing top shop work, canteen work, and all of these things. So teachers are under pressure. So government need to get some clerical and more ancillary workers in the school that teachers can be accountable for their duty. They have to be doing more than what they are doing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. Now to you, Mr. Johnson. How do you measure a successful teacher?
Thank you. A successful teacher is an individual who possesses fine pedagogical skills. A teacher who is able to demonstrate effective classroom management skills. A teacher who prides him or herself on professional growth. A teacher who goes, in many instances, above the call of duty to add value to a student. An individual who continues to provide opportunities for students and other members of staff to unearth their talents and potentials. Indeed, teaching is the only profession by which our success is measured directly with someone else's success. Nonetheless, when we are able to move a non-reader to a reader, when we are able to use the very limited resources to make our students elevate and find hope in themselves, when we are able to inspire a student to identify within himself his potential to be the greatest individual, that is teacher success. When we are able to use our ingenuity or creativity to inspire hope in the community of which the school is, that is teacher success. When we are able to get support and sponsorship for students who are in impoverished communities and situations, that is teacher success. When we are able as a group of individuals to identify in our students the next super athlete, the next science genius, the next political scientist, and speak hope into them, that is teacher success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Mrs. Baker Tulloh would now like to use her last rebuttal for this debate.
Just to add to what Mr. Johnson has said, perfect. And even as we listen to the compensation review and what is being out there as it relates to paying teacher according to their performance, we have to be mindful of the fact how we we craft what teacher success is all about. And if this is what teacher success looks like, I'm saying then to the power that these, as you think about your compensation review and think about the remuneration of our teachers, these are the different things that you must take into consideration and ensure that our teachers are remunerated according to their worth. When you take a child into a high school that is reading below his or her grade level, and the child is able to leave with a 2 subject or a 3 passes. Now, that, I agree with you. And that being said, all of these parameters must be taken.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker-Tuller. Thank you so much. Mr. Saunders, increasing the health and wellness insurance and safety security allowance benefit for all teachers is at the top of your manifesto. How will you pursue this goal?
Okay. Now, teachers are not secure on the job. Anything happen to us on the job, we are on our own. It costs our pocket as teacher. Even a colleague of mine, she felt from something fell on her and nothing came out of it. It is so bad that even one of our own colleagues in St. Elizabeth, there was a fight and he was there to part the fight, and the boys then beat up the man, beat him up badly. The man ended up in the hospital. All of the man's medical expense from his pocket. The poor man borrowed from the credit union until nothing left on his salary. The man, he was a woodwork teacher, and he had to start sell out all of his equipments. The man, emotional stress take the man so much that the man said, "Life, I need you no more." The man hung himself. So I am lobbying with the government of Jamaica that teachers must be insured on the job, because anything happen to us, the NIS, they will give us like a $100,000. That cannot help medical bill. So I'm definitely will stand up with the government for teachers to be insured and be saved on the job.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. We go now to a break on the 2022 JTA Presidential Debate. 3 contenders, 1 platform.
Earnings in Literacy for Juniors, Developing Writing Skills workbook for grade 4. Leaps and Bounds in Literacy for Juniors, Reading and Comprehension Skills workbook for grade 4. And the Mathematics Made Real series workbooks for grades 4 and 5. Grade 6 will be available soon. For secondary schools, we have books for drama, EDPM, food and nutrition, history and literature. I must point out to you that we currently have ebooks, which is our Lest You Forget series of books for history, available on the Book Fusion platform. The West Indian plays and CXC Food and Nutrition will follow shortly. For early childhood schools, we have the Get Ready to Learn series for 4 and 5-year-olds. 3-year-olds will be available soon. Our books are in bookstores island-wide. For more information on our products and services, you can visit our website at jph.com.jm, or you can visit our Facebook or Instagram page, or you can contact us via email at jph@cwjamaica.com, or call us at 876-967-3866 or 402-4028. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all participants who have attended our series of virtual planning sessions for grades 4 and 5 teachers since we commenced October 2020. Thank you again, colleagues, for your continued support as the Jamaica Publishing House Limited, looking forward to serve you by creating books, spreading knowledge. Thank you so much.
At TIP, we care about our members. TIP is a friendly society for all education sector workers. We're member-owned and member-controlled. So, for over 20 years, we've been offering only the best secure savings, loans and insurance products our members want and need for themselves and their families, with dependable service you can count on. Members helping members achieve more financially, reach further, stand taller. TIP-friendly society, protecting our members' income, safeguarding their future.
This Saturday, it all comes down to this: the Jamaica Teachers Association's presidential debates. Catch the action live at 6 p.m. on the JTA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Watch the contenders for president-elect match wit, plans and proposals. Principal of Afoga Road Infant School, Suzette Baker-Tulloh, Mushat High School Principal, Leighton Johnson, and Donald Quarry High School teacher, O'Keefe Saunders. That's the Jamaica Teachers Association's presidential debates, this Saturday, June 18 at 6 p.m., live on the JTA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Brought to you with the kind support of these partners. The Jamaica Teachers Association, unite and serve.
Greetings, colleagues. I am Prudence Graham Burrell, your Marketing and Sales Officer from the Jamaica Publishing House Limited. We have books for primary, secondary, and early childhood schools. Primary schools, we have the Journeys in Literacy for Juniors, Developing Writing Skills workbook for grade 4, Leaps and Bounds in Literacy for Juniors, Reading and Comprehension Skills workbook for grade 4, and the Mathematics Made Real series workbooks for grades 4 and 5. Grade 6 will be available soon. For secondary schools, we have books for drama, EDPM, food and nutrition, history and literature. I must point out to you that we currently have ebooks, which is our Lest You Forget series of books for history, available on the Book Fusion platform. The West Indian plays and CXC Food and Nutrition will follow shortly. For early childhood schools, we have the Get Ready to Learn series for 4 and 5-year-olds. 3-year-olds will be available soon. Our books are in bookstores island-wide. For more information on our products and services, you can visit our website at jph.com.jm, or you can visit our Facebook or Instagram page, or you can contact us via email at jph@cwjamaica.com, or call us at 876-967-3866 or 402-4028. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all participants who have attended our series of virtual planning sessions for grades 4 and 5 teachers since we commenced October 2020. Thank you again, colleagues, for your continued support as the Jamaica Publishing House Limited, looking forward to serve you by creating books, spreading knowledge. Thank you so much.
At TIP, we care about our members. TIP is a friendly society for all education sector workers. We're member-owned and member-controlled. So, for over 20 years, we've been offering only the best secure savings, loans and insurance products our members want and need for themselves and their families, with dependable service you can count on. Members helping members achieve more financially, reach further, stand taller. TIP-friendly society, protecting our members' income, safeguarding their future.
This Saturday, it all comes down to this: the Jamaica Teachers Association's presidential debates. Catch the action live at 6 p.m. on the JTA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Watch the contenders for president-elect match wit, plans and proposals. Principal of Afoga Road Infant School, Suzette Baker-Tulloh, Mushat High School Principal, Leighton Johnson, and Donald Quarry High School teacher, O'Keefe Saunders. That's the Jamaica Teachers Association's presidential debates, this Saturday, June 18 at 6 p.m., live on the JTA's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Brought to you with the kind support of these partners. The Jamaica Teachers Association, unite and serve.
Welcome back to the 2022 JTA Presidential Debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Publishing House and Tip Friendly Society. I'm Jovan Johnson. Before we begin this second segment of debate, we'll get a message from JTA Secretary General Dr. Mark Nicely.
Let me greet everyone. Good evening. Certainly I want to acknowledge our President-elect, Mrs. Lasagna Harrison, all the candidates here gathered, members, and Mr. Nash, our communications officer. I greet you all well, and certainly all the persons watching online. It is great to be here watching this particular activity. I want to commend the candidates for having been nominated, and certainly for them accepting the nomination, and for them also operating heavily in the field, communicating with our members, and ensuring that their message gets out. This evening is very important. It's the kind of last opportunity for them to send the right message and to have the constituents become aware of what they plan to do, and certainly to get the votes in come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. And so I want to wish all the candidates all the best, and certainly as Secretary General I look forward to the winner and look forward to serving that individual in the year to come. I now invite us to get a message from our President-elect, Mrs. Lasagna Harrison. Over to you, Madam P.E.
Moderator, Mr. Jovan Johnson, our President, Mr. Winston Roy Smith, JP in absentia, and our immediate past President, Mr. Jasper Gabriel, who is viewing online, our Secretary General, who just spoke to us, Dr. Mark Nicely, our Communications Officer, Mr. Leon Nash, presidential candidates, colleagues in cyberspace and in this Ben Hawthorne conference room, a pleasant evening to you. Apologies for our President, who is not here physically, but I'm sure he's joining online. The mission statement of the Jamaica Teachers Association articulates that the JTA is a democratic organization dedicated to the professional, financial, and social advancement of its members and the promotion of the highest educational standards for the country. To maintain this legacy, we annually conduct president-elect elections. Several years ago, I happened to have tabled such a resolution as to the need for this very activity. Though not carried, the activity has now become an annual staple nationally, initiated or initially introduced and practiced by the St. Andrew Parish Association. This initiative showcases our candidates and facilitate our members far and wide, having heard for themselves or candidates what it is each has to offer, as well as what are their thought processes, recurrent, trending, and topical issues in education. This certainly will help our members to decide which candidate I'm to cast my vote for. Candidates, I say to you, relax. Trust that you have been prepared through your professional journey for this moment. Be true to you. I can empathize, having been only here last year myself. Thank you for offering yourselves to ensure that the democracy of the Jamaica Teachers Association remains alive. You are an inspiration to many, win, lose, or draw. Colleagues in cyberspace, listen well and then cast your vote. Participate in this decision-making process. Do not treat trivial this opportunity to exercise your franchise. Let not the struggles of Paul Bogle in 1865 and others that paved the way for adult suffrage in 1944 go in vain. Exercise that franchise. Do so wisely. As soon as the opportunity is afforded you, starting 12:01 a.m., June 20 until the 24th. Check your emails, check your spam, and ensure that you vote. Let us continue to unite and serve.
Thank you very much, President-elect LaSonia Harrison, and to Secretary General Dr. Mark Nicely. We'll now invite our candidates to retake the stage. Suzette Baker Tulloh, the principal of Fogo Road Infant School in Clarendon, Leighton Johnson, principal of the Mushat High School in Trelawney, and O'Keefe Saunders, a teacher at the Donald Quarry High School in Kingston. We begin this segment with a question from one of our JTA regions. This question will be answered by each of the three candidates. The question first goes to Mrs. Baker Tulloh.
Good day, candidates. I'm Latoya Reeves from the South Central Region. My question to you has two parts. On a scale of 1 to 10, how important is membership to the Jamaica Teachers Association? Part B, how do you plan to increase the membership of the Jamaica Teachers Association if elected?
How important? It's a 10. Membership drives our finance. It's because of our members where we can do what we are doing for our members of the association. We do representation. If we have to employ lawyers, it's the 1% that comes in that does all of that. The tokens that we give, the professional developments that we do, it's all bolstered by the 1% that we as members give. So on a scale of 10 to 1, 10 is the most important. Now, how do I plan to grow, to bolster the membership as it is? I know that our teachers are disgruntled because of what is happening in our association. They say that it is a boys' club, but I am saying that now it's not even the time to be saying you will not be voting, or no, it's not the time for you to say you will not become a member of the Jamaica Teachers Association. I want to let you know that it's turning point now. Here is one standing that has shown integrity in working as a membership chair for many years in her parish. And so I'm saying to you, I am committed where that is concerned. So how do I plan to do that? If elected as president-elect, when we take in, the more we take in and the more we give off and show that we are spending on our members, is the more those who are looking on will be attracted to what is going on. Apart from that, we have a structure in place already, where in every school we have the contact teacher, who the contact teacher will be motivated to ensure that every new person that comes on staff, that person is nurtured or is encouraged to become a member. Also, as it relates to those in the different schools, our caregivers who may not be members, they too will be continued to rope in and to become a member. So that being said, spend more on the members. Those who are seeing how much we are treating the members will be so enthused to become a member as well.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Baker Tulloh. The very same question goes to you, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much, sir. Membership is the underbelly of the Jamaica Teachers Association. The Jamaica Teachers Association is a member-based organization. Therefore, it is critical. It is the bedrock of the association. Therefore, scale to 1 to 10, a 10. It is essential. Decisions that are taken within the Jamaica Teachers Association are taken by members. And I want my colleagues right across Jamaica to understand that it is very important for them to become a part of this organization to make their voices heard. I strongly believe that the democratic process in selecting contact teachers must continue. And once you have a strong and vibrant contact teacher, then he or she will be able to get support for teachers attending their district associations. Attending district associations and making the district association strong, robust, and vibrant. This then will make a strong parish association, and a strong parish association makes a strong Jamaica Teachers Association. It is the voices of the members of the association that count. The voices of the delegates that dictate to the president and the other administrative staff how the teachers feel and what action needs to be taken. How do I plan to bolster membership? We are in the age of technology, colleagues, and I believe the use of social media is a very potent tool to get persons in tuned and attracted to the Jamaica Teachers Association. I believe we can attract members if we package our study circle in a way that we can utilize Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok to get teachers coming on. Those 30-second nuggets about the importance of the Jamaica Teachers Association, getting teachers to be a part of it. This is a way that can be used to gain support of teachers in becoming a part of the union.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Now to you, Mr. Saunders, with the same question.
Membership is very important. And if we don't have members, the organization can't run. So it is good for us to recruit more members to be a member of the organization, because as I said, without membership, the organization can't run. So, how am I going to do it? No. Out here campaigning, a lot of teachers are very disgruntled with the JTA. I've been to a school and they're saying, I don't want to talk to you people. You people don't remember us. It's just like you're like the politicians. So I'm saying that what we need to do, we need to be more present. So as president of the JTA, we need to, the HROs and other members need to be more present in the schools. We need to have professional development more for the teachers. When we have professional development like the Ministry of Education and professional development each midterm, the JTA must be a part of that professional development. The contact teachers, in the Jamaican term, said encouragement of labor. As a president, I think the contact teacher must get a stipend. And when you pay these contact teachers, give them a stipend because they work it hard. As a contact teacher, sometimes I've flown from the JTA when teachers have problems with administration and all of these things. So they must also get a stipend. And I said, we must be more present in the school. The DAs need to be more active. The ROs need to get more active in the school system. Our General Secretary, our Deputy General Secretary, all of us need to work as a team and build up the members of the JTA, because without the members, this organization can't run. And we need to contribute more to the teachers of Jamaica. And when we start that, we will now build the teachers will get more confident in the JTA.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. Mrs. Baker-Tulloh, high salaries for teachers or improved classroom infrastructure. What would be your priority if you had to choose?
Wow, that's a tough one. Because as a teacher for many years, and having to pay bills, a high remuneration is very much important. It is so important that as a result of not getting it, our teachers are leaving the shores of Jamaica and they are going elsewhere where they are paid as an indication that they are being valued for their experience and they are being valued for their qualification. I said what? Look here, money makes the mirror goes. Money is the answer to everything. When you have your child sent into university, how are you going to pay the bill? As a teacher, remuneration is very important, and also the resources. The resources is on the Ministry of Education. Just as though the curriculum and everything, all the resources that the teacher needs in order for the children to be holistically developed must be prepared and must be delivered by the powers that be. For remuneration, 100% of our work, because we are the most important human resource in the teaching and learning arena. Take us away from the equation. You see what happened during the COVID-19 experience. Take us away. Our children will not be I can't back down on that one. Sorry. I can't back down on that one.
Mr. Johnson, your final rebuttal for this debate.
Thank you, sir. Colleagues, of course, remuneration, teachers' salaries are important, critical. However, what I know for a fact is that the lack of resources wanes the teacher's confidence. If the teacher is not able to function at his best, the teacher doesn't feel effective. If the teacher is unable to carry out his duties because he is lacking in many resources, the teacher feels demoralized. A demoralized colleague or teacher is one that is not very efficient in the society, in the classroom. Even if he or she is paid handsomely, he or she is not effective if he or she is demoralized because of the conditions that they work in and the lack of resources. My response to that question would be, both are priority. They are both essential.
Thank you so much. We're still with you, but that's the end of your rebuttal segment there. Sticking with you though, Mr. Johnson, the JTA has two main functions, educator development and union leadership. Which of these functions now requires greater attention, and what would you do?
Currently, based on the atmosphere in our country, the atmosphere in education, both are essential, but the union, the trade union arm at this point has to be robust and has to be in trade. We are at the point where we are battling the compensation review, a problematic issue for all teachers across Jamaica. We have to keep a watchful eye on that. We have to ensure that teachers are brought back to at least 80% of market. It requires bargaining. It requires us to be astute and fearless as we go in this regard. There is the vexing issue of the JTC bill in its current form. The JTC bill has issues. The licensing of teachers, the criminalization of teachers, the issue of some teachers being removed if they do not fall in a particular category of education, speaking to diploma or certificate or specialist. These are issues that the union has to speak to. Colleagues, these are issues that as much as possible, we have to be vigilant. We have to keep the government on its toes for them to understand that as best as possible, as teachers, we will not relent. There are other issues. There are issues in terms of benefits that have been won by the Jamaica Teachers Association that have not yet been implemented by the government across the board. There are those issues that the union lobbied for. Early childhood teachers. There are still some early childhood teachers right across this nation who are paying for their police records and their food handlers permits. There are still schools at the primary level who are yet to see the cluster-based guidance council and clericals that the ministry agreed to. So at this point, it is urgent that we pay attention to the union issues of course, professional development is critical.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. Unfortunately, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh, you're out of rebuttals. We go to you, Mr. Saunders. If elected to be the next president of the JTA, what will be your proposal in response to the issue of violence in schools?
Okay, violence in school. Now, I would say the Ministry of Education, since these students come back from the COVID break, we get to find out they are even more violent, more than how they was before. The Ministry of Education need to have workshop for teachers how to deal with discipline in schools, because these kids are very indisciplined. So the Ministry of Education must set up some workshop, and they have to set up some discipline measures that we as teachers and the administrators, that we enforce them in school. For example, these students want to wear anything to school. The hairstyle, some pants looking like they're going to the dance, a girls' short uniform, and the ministry is telling us we are not to send them home. What must we do with students like those in the school? So I am saying to the Ministry of Education, you are condoning with the slackness of the indiscipline of the school. So you have to give us measures, because we can't, in today's society now, there's nothing you can say to students. My daughter at Queen said the student just jump up in the male teacher face and telling him a lot of expletive, and the poor man just have to back off, cannot say, do nothing. Now the ministry must tell us now what measures they are going to do. Thus, the teachers can be safe in school and discipline, because without discipline, the school system will break down to nothing. When I was a boy, and in school, my principal was a disciplined man. And I remember we used to wear the style pants, and one morning, Mr. Ricketts come into the class, and he said, all may stand up. And if you have on a style pants, he just said, take it off, put it in that box, and we'll give you a pants to put on. You can't do that anymore. So the ministry will have to find some measures to give us all we can bring back the discipline in school.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. Now to you again, Mrs. Baker-Tulloh. What is your proposal to deal with the learning loss as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Interventions will have to be drafted and implemented according to the data that would have been unearthed from the evaluation that would have been done. And that is basically it. The interventions, we have to put it in, else the gap that we have, and also too, as it even relates to the resources as well, it will also call upon the Ministry of Education to also put the added resources. Resources also could be human resource. For example, as I said, in the infant school where I am at, where the ratio overcrowded with just one person, you need more human resource there so that you can have the individual connection. And also we're in a technological era where the children are very, when it comes onto that, they are very savvy where that is concerned. So even, bolstering the internet speed that is on school, because we are backward where that is concerned. So that we can even use, we can use it in the blended approach also to ensure that these gaps are merged. And it is not a one-man approach, it is also a holistic one in the sense that the parents have to be actively involved along with the teachers. So with us having a blended approach using the technology, teacher and parent can work along with the students. And I believe that too, to even so that we don't have a ripple effect of the gaps that are found with students who are starting late, that more funding be put at the grassroots level, which is the foundation level, which is the early childhood, and a little at the primary level, so that we catch the gap there and be proactive. And the reactive one would be like at the high school level, where the intervention will be a fulsome one as well. So intervention, provision of resources, internet beefing up, and working with the parents as well, with the teachers, educators, I believe that we will be able to fast track and make the gap be smaller.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Saunders, you may now use your final rebuttal.
Yes, and with COVID, before COVID, in 2018, 65% of grade 4 students achieved mastery in numeracy. That's 65%. 47% of our students achieve CSEC in maths. Now, our students are performing way below their peer in the Caribbean, right? Now, our students are not thinking critically. 56% could not write before COVID. 57% cannot extract information before COVID. So you can imagine now. No, the school administrators, we alone and teachers can't do that. The ministry must get involved. We need some specialist teachers in school, because a student who is in grade 7, when we had COVID, when COVID started, they were at grade 4. They are still at the grade 4 level coming back to us because they are out of school for 2 years. Some have never joined online. So the Ministry of Education...
Thank you very much, Mr. Saunders. Thank you. Mr. Johnson, do you think performance-based incentive would drive improvement in teacher output?
That's an interesting question, and a question or a sentiment that has been circulating for some time. I believe that it wouldn't. At the point we are in terms of performance-based incentives or salaries, it is urgent for us to ensure that there is equity in the education system, equity right across the board. So in order for us to measure a teacher's performance, we have to ensure first that there are the requisite resources. We have to ensure that as best as possible, the methods of appraisal have been agreed to, and there is no level of biasness in that appraisal process. We must ensure that as best as possible, right across the board, the playing field is level for all participants. Performance-based pay is not a new concept. And of course, there are several industries that utilize this model and method. However, where teachers are concerned, how do you then speak to performance-based when we have students entering the classroom, the secondary level or the primary level at different levels? Are we now going to speak to the value-added approach? Are we going to speak to the methods that we are going to be using to determine whether or not a teacher is performing at optimum or is being effective? Until we address all these issues, until we address the myth surrounding performance-based, until we demystify this concept, then we cannot go in that direction. It is not a bad concept. Nonetheless, or however, where we are concerned in education, and particularly to the Jamaican education context, where it is clear that there are two education systems, the traditional and the others, we cannot speak to performance-based pay at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. And now to the final question in this segment, to you, Mr. Saunders. How would you improve communication among your JTA stakeholders?
Okay, communication is the key, and without communication, nothing. As social media is one of our greatest communication now for people to communicate. So we use up our Facebook page, our Instagram, YouTube, and all the different social media for better communication, and also the contact teachers in the school and the DAs and the DA, members of the DAs, we use that as a form of communication.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saunders. Well, we have all but come to the end of today's debate. Now our candidates will each be allotted 2 minutes for their closing arguments. Based on the reversed alphabetic approach, Mr. O'Keefe Saunders, teacher at the Donald Quarry High School in Kingston, will go first.
Okay. Remember, my colleagues, I am the man with the plan. And remember, I am a classroom teacher. I know your battles, your challenges that you face every day in the classroom. Colleagues, I want you to vote Terry-Ann O'Keefe Saunders. Remember, if you can't remember the man with the girl named Terry-Ann. Colleagues, I am a strong leader. I am a Sam Sharp leader. I am a Nelson Mandela leader. I am a Fidel Castro leader. To be a union leader, you must have teeth. And colleagues, I am telling you, I have teeth. And I'm telling you, I will defend the teachers of Jamaica. Colleagues, we are living below poverty level too long. And colleagues, I'm telling you, just give me a chance. Because if you don't vote for me, I can't win. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Saunders. Now to Mr. Leighton Johnson, principal of the Mushet High School in Trelawney, for your 2 minutes closing statement.
Thank you. Colleagues of Jamaica, teachers all, I strive for transformation. It is my intention to represent all categories of teachers. Whether you are a classroom teacher, whether you are a dean of discipline, whether you are a guidance counselor, or whether you are the head teacher, I will provide strident representation for all teachers. A vote for Leighton Johnson is a vote for improved salaries. 80% of market, that is our bottom line. We must return the strength and resilient voices of teachers. A vote for Leighton Johnson will return your voices, colleagues. A vote for Leighton Johnson will ensure that there is fearless and strident advocacy. A vote for Leighton Johnson is a vote for the return of the teachers' confidence in the Jamaica Teachers Association. June 20 to 24, vote for the one who strives for transformation. Together, we can make every teacher better. Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Johnson. And finally, Mrs. Suzette Baker-Tulloh, principal of the Fogar Road Infant School.
My colleagues, don't judge me negatively by my slow start in this debate. Look at it from a positive point of view. As a woman, I may be late in starting, but that is indicative of the fact that we do not say yes quickly. We delay, and we know that when it comes to the Jamaica Teachers Association, that one of the issues that we are having is the fact that you say we sign off too quick. As a woman, you know that we are not quick. And I say to you, my fellow colleagues, that now is the time for you to vote for one who has the patience, who have demonstrated integrity in standing up for the principles as it relates to agitating for the issues of the Jamaica Teachers Association. I have done it for many years at the local level, Clarendon. I am saying, give me the mandate to represent you in all the parishes. A woman who you know, we do not go to the bar, so we are not easy to sign off. We know what it is to say no, even when we want to say yes. We know how to hold out. And now is the time for a president-elect who will hold out for the long haul until we get that which we deserve. Vote Suzette Baker-Tulloh, the choice president-elect for JTA 2022 to 2023.
And that brings us to the end of the 2022 Jamaica Teachers Association Presidential Debate, brought to you in association with the Jamaica Publishing House and Tip Friendly Society. Thanks to our candidates. We now invite them to exchange pleasantries. Suzette Baker-Tulloh, Principal of the Fogar Road Infant School in Clarendon. Leighton Johnson, Principal of the Mushet High School in Trelawney, and O'Keefe Saunders, Teacher at the Donald Quarry High School in Kingston. Thanks to the JTA's Administrative Officer in charge of Communication and Public Relations, Leon Nash, producer Damian Mitchell, and the entire production team. But most of all, thanks to you for joining us on Facebook and on YouTube. The presidential decision is now in your hands. I'm Jovan Johnson. Good evening.
Greetings, colleagues. I am Prudence Graham Burrell, your Marketing and Sales Officer from the Jamaica Publishing House Limited. We have books for primary, secondary, and early childhood schools. Primary schools, we have the Journeys in Literacy for Juniors, Developing Writing Skills workbook for grade 4, Leaps and Bounds in Literacy for Juniors, Reading and Comprehension Skills workbook for grade 4, and the Mathematics Made Real series workbooks for grades 4 and 5. Grade 6 will be available soon. For secondary schools, we have books for drama, EDPM, food and nutrition, history and literature. I must point out to you that we currently have ebooks, which is our Lest You Forget series of books for history, available on the Book Fusion platform. The West Indian
Colleagues, it is my intention to keep that watchful eye and agitate with the government to get teachers back to at least 80% of market in this compensation review process. We will accept nothing less. Inflation plus the high cost of living has eroded our spending power. We are all feeling the pinch. I must continue to keep that watchful eye and agitate regarding the JTC bill in its current form. We cannot sit by and allow teachers to be made criminals of if they practice without or outside their license.
I've experienced the pain, the heartache that comes with being in the classroom and that comes with being underpaid and overworked. Yes, I am Suzette Baker-Tulloh, the choice candidate at this time, for such a time as this, when we would want someone to be the face and be the voice of JTA, who will stand her ground and agitate with passion from experience as pertaining to the issues facing our teachers.
Only a teacher knows how best to represent a teacher. I have teeth. I am here to defend the rights of the Jamaican teachers in the classroom. I know the battles and the challenges you face every day. Victimization, low wages, overcrowded classroom, lack of resources. The time has come for you to choose your own classroom teacher. I am a leader like Sam Sharp, Nelson Mandela, Fidel Castro. Remember, colleagues, I am the man with the plan.